for your first best 3 series.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Captain's Draft 3.0, presented by Dota Cinema and Moondog TV. Sunsfan here with Purge.
Hey, doing,
Thanks for PIA for supporting this tournament more than anybody else, by the way.
Yeah, man. How could everybody not support them that much?
Dude, it's a legit service.
Is it?
It's good stuff, yeah. I used it in China.
Oh, really?
I would not be able to use the internet without PIA in China, for sure.
That's pretty cool. All right, so we're into a Captain's Draft game here. I'm going to try my best not to sneeze constantly.
Yeah,
since
it's already
I'm
happened.
allergic to cats. And
Are you actually?
yeah.
Oh my god, you didn't tell me that.
Well,
dude, there's hair everywhere.
It's all over your desk. Like it was okay. Like yesterday, I was like, maybe I'm not allergic anymore. Today, I'm deep entrenched into your lifestyle.
I'm so sorry. We should have vacuumed before you. Well, actually, we technically did. We didn't vacuum down here, and then you were just down there. You put your face right to the
Have you considered removing any of the cat hair from your desk?
Dude, it just appears out of nowhere. I clean it, and it just appears again. It like falls from the ceiling. It's just covering the house.
All right. Well, what do you see here in the pool? It's a special. There's not that much. There's a lot of standard. Enchantress might make it through.
Enchantress is probably the best hero in the pool right now, and
I feel one hero that makes it through every pool and gets picked is like Juggernaut. Juggernaut is like a perfect like tier 2 carry that most teams aren't too scared. Sometimes he'll get banned in the first round, but most times not.
All right, so forget about the tier 1s. Who do we want to see? I want to see PA.
PA would be fun. She's okay versus Enchantress, but she's just so easy to outlane in a lot of other cases. I just don't see it happening. Very, very unlikely. I think we'll probably see Tide this game. What about supports? We got Mirana roaming, Bane, Lion, Rubik, Ogre. Those are maybe our supports of the game.
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't mind seeing Necro either. Necro's not too bad against Enchantress. Although, unless she gets the heal off, I guess it's not that good. But, I mean, burst damage is the name of the game against Enchantress. And what do we have in the pool? We have Luna is okay, depending on how you build her.
Lion, Ember Spirit's okay.
Puck's good.
Alright.
There's the Jug.
There's the Jug pick. Omni Slash very good versus Enchantress, obviously, because it will hit her through untouchable. I mean, your actual attacks in between aren't going to work very well, but at the very least, you get some guaranteed.
Yeah, how does that work?
Well, okay, so the way Omni Slash works is you have a set amount of slashes between 3 and 9, I think, without getting eggs. And then if your attack speed is fast enough, in between each of those attacks, you can attack between them because your attack speed's fast. If you have really fast attack speed, you get extra regular slashes. The ones that are guaranteed are a set amount of physical damage that are irrelevant to how much damage you do, unless you have like a Desolator or an AC or something. So if you're really fast attacking, then Jug's Omni Slash will get more slashes. But I'm guessing that the untouchable will proc during those moments, therefore you won't get extra slashes.
Alright, I actually am taking back what I said about everybody. I actually want to see Kunkka. And I don't want to see a Kunkka support. I know it's never going to happen, but I want to see it.
I mean, it's an okay support right now. Glimmer Cape's been nerfed enough where Kunkka's pretty decent. And
I feel like X is one of the best single target spells in the entire game. It's so freaking good.
Yeah, it's a 10-second cooldown. It's kind of like a fight. It's kind of like you have Glimpse, you know? Like if a fight starts, you're staying around like until you kill
Glimpse is a longer cooldown, right?
Yeah, it's 20 seconds.
Level 1, it's longer than that, isn't it?
Yeah, 60.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, looks like we're going to see a Lion. A lot of burst damage from Empire so far.
Yeah, I like the Lion pick though versus Puck and Jug because Hex is an instant cast, so you can, if you have a blink tag, you can catch them, you can initiate, and you can set up those disables. They just have so many stuns right now. Ogre, Lion, and Enchantress, just a lot of damage and a lot of disables.
We talked about this in pregame. We have yet to see Huskar in Captain's Draft. Not looking too great against the Enchantress, and then not really good against Juggernaut, obviously.
Yeah, Omni Slash kind of counters. I think Huskar's all right. He's maybe not the worst here in Dota, but you definitely.
He's bottom 10 though, right?
Maybe, I don't know. Bottom 20, I would definitely say. He doesn't get nearly as much magic resistance, and it takes a lot of skill points to even get that. I think one skill point in Berserker's Blood gives you a max of 20% magic. That's bad. But the attack speed's still really good, so he's a lot weaker to magic damage, but he still does do a lot of damage, so it has some potential. I think Huskar will be a good hero when his magic resistance where it's at currently, and he gets buffed in other ways. Because then it's going to be like, okay, he's good against magic, he still does a lot of damage, he attacks fast, he doesn't need to ultra hard counter one thing. That's like just bad game design. So I'm glad that they've nerfed him in that way.
EG taking some extra time here. Remember, there is no bonus time in Captain's Draft, so the time you see there is literally all they have left to select their last 2 picks. Of course, they'll have a little bit of time here in between as Mirana. So a Bane Mirana combination, that's pretty dirty. We've been seeing a lot of OD Mirana, but Bane is the kind of the the standard of old, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we've even seen just like a lot of simply roaming Mirana, simply put. It's very good if you can land the arrows. And even then, if you're in the jungle, you just one-shot neutral creeps. You can actually level a lot faster. You can level up a lot faster than you could before. So that's a really nice advantage. They're going to be versus a Dragon Knight, though, and that's going to make it a little harder to kill the enemy mid-hero, just because his armor and his regen are a lot higher. But I think with Puck and 3 heroes total, they can definitely kill him. But I think it's a decent solution towards worrying about the arrow.
Ember Spear is going to be the last pick for Empire. And again, EG only has 10 seconds to find something for themselves. Do they need the offlane? Tide is available. Axe as well. Of course, they could just do dual lanes and not have a standard offlaner, but we'll see what Universe will likely get, and it will be the Tide Hunter.
It's really no surprise. Tide is like a very consistent offlaner in Captain's Draft. He's a fairly strong hero. He gives you really good team fight. Like, having a good early game is so important in Captain's Draft because your lineups aren't necessarily going to synergize the way that you want them to, and they won't have strengths when you normally expect. So if you just throw a Tide Hunter in that and you have a Ravage, like, it just makes all the difference in the world.
All right, so this, of course, is the first series. It's supposed to be the second series for the playoffs, but the Alliance one will be postponed until tomorrow. So we will have a much easier, or what'd you say, JJ? Well, there's nothing. Good Lord. God, I hate my life sometimes. How can you hear me clicking?
You're spamming it, dude.
That's how I usually move the map. This is going to be rough, guys.
Oh, really? That's how I do it.
How am I supposed to click on heroes?
Just be very careful with your map.
Fear is using the old Captain's Draft Mirana mount. Look at that.
I didn't even know this existed. What is this?
Let's take a look. It's a saber-toothed tiger. And wait, are there no effects anymore? Okay, I think there's effects on the back here. It's supposed to glow in the eyes. I can never remember what they kept in, but that was a real struggle to get in. That's for sure. They even got rid of the footprints. It's a sad sight to see, but here supporting Captain's Draft.
Is that how you guys make money? You just like put over the top particles and everything, and like, buy this, it's beautiful, but you're just breaking.
Okay, actually, so I'm gonna off on a little bit of a tangent here. A lot of people are going to disagree with me, but whatever. The whole Death Prophet set that came out the other day, or like yesterday, did you see it?
The Tentacles one?
Yeah. So, like, Slacks actually legitimately hates it, right? I think it's really good for the game. Because this game will eventually, like, you're going to run out of ideas. You're going to run out of, like, standard sets for standard heroes. You got to kind of go outside the box to some degree. I mean, you can disagree if that's too much, but it needs to start going in that direction, I think. Cosmetic wise, or else like these workshop artists are just never going to make money.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And you need new variety for people to get excited about stuff. Shiny, hang the shiny t-shirts in front of their face.
You don't like shiny stuff?
I do sometimes. I think I'm okay with the way cosmetics are going, honestly.
Like this Juggernaut set, is that too much for you?
Oh no, I like that Juggernaut set.
Okay.
I mean, I don't use it because my set, I think, is
Excuse me?
Cool.
This is the Captain's Draft 2 set as well.
I know, I think it's pretty cool, but I don't have to say that because I wasn't a part of Captain's Draft 2.
That's true. That's a good point.
Why don't you hire me?
Arrow. We're going to see it. They're not going to need to. PPD going to secure the rune here at top. And Fear will take it for himself.
If he sleeps anybody, they just kind of die, basically.
It's rough. It's going to be like that the entire laning stage. You got to be careful with that roaming Mirana.
And Fear naturally is going to block the large camp here by the side shop or the secret shop, just because it doesn't want Enchantress to get a free creep, because then she can bully the supports a little bit easier. So they'll probably body block this large camp here, unless Fear is just going to snipe with arrow, which kind of looks like what he's going to do. Maybe rather than going for arrows at level 1, he's just going to start doing some neutraling. It's a bit different than what you normally see out of Miranas, but this is going to be a way to limit what Enchant can do, but also giving him some experience. So maybe a fast level 2, then he roams, I guess. He's dewarding it.
He's going to deward it right away, and at the 1 minute mark, a new camp will come up, and that means he will probably get the enchant like you're talking about. If that was blocked and he wasn't able to get rid of it, would he have not taken enchant level 1?
Yeah, probably. He would have to go to lane, or he'd go jungle. I think that was a bit lazy by Fear, though. He didn't have to put it right here. This camp is actually huge. It has like a giant square. You can hide it like more to the left or something like that in a place where your opponent won't catch it. So he arrows through at the 1 minute mark to try to snipe a neutral. That way, as he dewarded it, he would possibly kill the large one. But what happened was the ogre blocked it accidentally, so he just got really unlucky there.
I see.
Fear should have had an extra creep.
Well, Kavos is going to be grouped up here with Goretz as his backup support. With that Centaur he picked up, and they're going to be okay for now. It is a tri-lane, though. And like we talked about, the Mirana Bane combination is super scary. But And actually, I was going to mention that the Centaur, usually it's pretty good for blocking the arrows, but since that change, it just automatically dies, so...
Yeah, it actually makes it... It's kind of like you have a Crystal Maiden support. Crystal Maiden support's been picked a lot more against Enchant because you frostbite the creeps for 10 seconds, and you get a lot of advantage. They don't have arrow yet for a second here.
And Goretz is super tanky, so he'll take that arrow and all likelihood. There we go, and the Blade Fury on top of that's going to be First Blood going the way of Arteezy and EG.
Nice kill. Basically, Fear just waited until the Ogre didn't have vision of him, so he wouldn't be able to see the arrow coming, and he doesn't dodge it in time, so nice kill there for EG.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we're seeing a Puck versus Dragonite. FN versus Sumail. FN still, I think he's trying out still, right? I don't think they've made anything official for Empire.
Do you have experience with tryouts?
Yeah, lately.
Okay.
Lots of trade. I mean, that's the thing about the whole restriction on changing rosters and whatnot. You have this, like, people that don't make the majors, they have so much time now. So there's no rush overall.
That's kind of nice.
It's nice and bad, honestly.
Nice and bad, because then you're, in some ways, forced to only try with people that didn't hit majors. How about that?
That's partially true. As Pavost gonna get gone on. Blade Fury level 2.
Really
it's gonna be really close. He pops the Fury Fire. A couple more right clicks will do it, and PPD, in fact, takes that kill.
Yeah.
So this lane is essentially just one here for EG.
That's the value that Jug provides, man. You get that tons of magic damage. He does, what, 550 magic damage with 2 skill points and a Blade Fury? Yeah. That's amazing for carry. It's basically like you're playing a Gyrocopter in the safe lane, but then you don't have to play Gyro. You can farm faster, you can teamfight in some ways better. You can definitely gank better, maybe not teamfight better, but Jug has a lot of good potential, and that's why he's picked in Captain's Draft.
Going back to mid, we're looking at the 20-3 CS for FN on this Dragonite versus 15-3 Sumail. What do you think of this matchup in general, Puck versus Dragonite?
See, it's slightly bad for Puck for the fact that Dragonite's really high armor, and he's regenning a lot, so Puck has to focus a lot of time harassing, and Puck isn't as high of a damage for a mid-hero as a lot of other mids that have better scaling nukes, so Puck actually can't harass them very well, so he focuses a lot on harassing, which may limit his CS. His CS is actually still really fine, so it's not fair to say, but Puck basically doesn't have kill potential until allies roam. But that's the case for a lot of Puck games. You just can't kill your opponent.
I think he'll probably start to out-CS the Dragonite now. I mean, the one reason that he was having issues probably, I guess, is because of Breathe Fire, mitigating some of that damage.
Possibly, but you can phase shift it, so I think it's something you can do.
I mean, how consistent is that? That seems like it would be, for me at least, it would be tough to do.
Depends what the server
I guess if you're Sumail, you can have no problem doing that.
I've got 65 ping in this game, so I'm guessing this is East.
Yeah, that's right. So we should have mentioned EG did win the coin toss, so 2 out of the 3 games will be on East.
That's a huge advantage because isn't Empire like a Russian team?
Yeah.
So I thought Russians always played Lux.
No, well, yeah, but for EG it's different because they are all West Coast US,
okay.
which makes it very difficult to do online. Huh?
Well, damn, they're going to be really happy with this then. That's actually a massive amount. And that's why Charlie tweeted about it. He's like, this is the hardest decision a captain has to make, because now his team gets 2 games at like 80 ping, 90 ping, 100 ping, instead of like 2 games at like 130, 100, no, it's at least 160 probably.
Yeah, I think, well, like, I mean, we get like 150 and we're close to California, but it's even worse. This top lane, Kavos dodges the arrow. They didn't actually set it up with any kind of a nightmare. Bottom lane in the meantime, Universe getting gone on by Goretz and Funnick. Gonna be forced out. Has that level 1 Kraken Shell helping quite a bit, and Aloha Dance can continue to free farm away. 32 CS for him compared to the Juggernaut at 26.
I kind of like a Jug a bit better in the early game though. Like Omni Slash just gives you so much, especially with all the stuns that that the Dire team have. They can set that up with an Omni Slash and kill a lot of core heroes.
Well, this is kind of like an old school game where it's a tri-lane aggro tries. Well, I guess they're not aggro try because they're not going against each other, but tri-lane versus off-lane, kind of traditional. Like last patch, you would never see this. You'd see a 2v1 or even just a 1v1 in the off lanes. We still see that sometimes. It's just not as consistent, obviously. I think the off lane's a little bit different now.
People have just gotten a little bit better at blocking camps and stuff like that, so it's a little bit harder to get value out of those dual lanes, and it might just be picks as well. Like, if people pick a lot of stuns, then dual lanes are a little bit vulnerable, and teams are just going back to what's a little bit more safe rather than doing what's chaotic. Especially when a new patch hits, there's a lot of chaos that happens. But as people will adjust to that, it gets a little easier.
Right. Sumail right now, going to be finishing his treads pretty soon. His FN's going to take the rune from Sumail, unfortunately for him. But he's going to Bottle Crow, and that should be okay for him. And Goretz right now is invisible, by the way. It's a level 2. He did go Ignite. We talked about this in the past. Has 1 in each. So ganking potential is pretty high.
Yeah, he was going, the other game, we saw an Ogre going all Fire Blast and Bloodlust, which worked a lot because they were amping up their cores, but in a typical game, Ogre will get a lot of Ignite and Fire Blast just for gank possibilities. But he's very under-leveled, man. He's only 2 here. I don't really see him setting up kills.
Yeah, I mean, what exactly is the combination that they'd be looking for? I mean, Fire Blast and Ignite into nothing. I mean, if Lion is there, they could potentially set something up. They need 3 people, 100% to get a kill, I believe. Sonic right now level 4, has the 2-1-1 build on the Lion. He's already been seen here by Fear, and Fear's doing perfectly fine. 4.5, and he was in a tri-lane. He's 4.5. That's not too shabby at all.
He's got 7 CS, which is probably mostly neutral creeps, so...
Yeah, that's sometimes like that. Some things like that can be very misleading.
They're gonna
Bottom
go
lane, Universe getting initiated on by Aloha Dance. Searing Chains will pop into an Impale. Universe in a lot of trouble, gets sheeped up. A couple more right clicks should do it.
Okay.
And Empire finally on board, but here comes Sumail with a nice Dream Coil. He's going to finish off Funnick pretty much no problem. Dodging a little bit of damage from Aloha Dance, sends some phase shift. Aloha Dance has absolutely no mana to get away. It's going to take extra right clicks. Flame Guard will pop off, and down he goes. It's a 2-for-1 after what looked like a great initiation from Empire.
I mean, Ember got a little unlucky in the fact that his Searing Chains didn't catch puck, but there were so many creeps there, it's not too surprising. But what a huge rotation from Sumail. I died for it, but that's fine, man. He's level 5 still, like, he's doing fine. He also bought a magic wand before he died, so he didn't lose much gold with his death.
As far as levels are concerned, Khavost and Universe are pretty much even. Not doing too bad. That did give a little bit of space, that last gank, of course, for FN to do some damage to that tier 1 tower, which is a little bit less than half HP. As top lane, Khavost, Blade Period up into... Oh, Fire Blast is a little bit too late. Arteezy, he might get gone on now. That's going to be a trade which would definitely be in favor of Empire this time.
Yeah, naturally the carries are going to be more farmed, so they'll give more gold to their opponents, but Arteezy does get a level out of it at least. He's level 8 with that kill. It could be worse. I mean, I think getting a kill in like
oh boy, good. Universe does not have Ravage. He's so close to getting. Actually, just gets it in this fight with that last creep. Won't need it. Easy kill for EG.
That was a lot of damage, man. But I guess they did have 4 heroes there. It's gonna make a big difference. So good rotations from EG so far. They're 6-2. They don't actually. Oh, sorry. They do have net worth advantage and experiences as well as in their favor due to their jungling, most likely from Mirana. So, oh, and a great ward here by PPD. Very common ward to put one here in this area for the Radiant team as they approach Dire. Picking that off is going to really limit the vision of Empire and could make the next nighttime be really advantageous for EG.
And Universe now bottom lane. He'll be pushing away very slowly. He's all alone, actually. I'm surprised there's no rotations coming through. Meanwhile, Aloha Dance was a little bit of trouble, but just uses his Fire Remnants to get the hell out of there. And this is the beauty of the hero. Actually, I'm wondering what build he's going to go for. We've talked about the Boots of Travel build, which is... I'd say it's still more common, but personally, we've talked about this again, but I like the battle build. Like drums get a little bit of HP so you can battle.
I don't know about drums. I feel it's kind of good because there are a lot of magic nukes and disables on EG, so maybe he needs that HP to survive the burst. But with Boots of Travel, he can TP to an enchanted creep and show up to a gank. He can go to more ganks. He can delay split pushing better and things like that. I feel like his team has enough nuke damage as well that he doesn't have to worry about his nuke damage not being extremely high just yet. I think he can get away with the fast BOT build. And he's definitely going. Like, you don't go this far with gold and not buy Perseverance, so he's definitely going to go Boots of Travel first. I think it's a good choice with Enchant, and
so close.
It'll help him far.
Fear and Universe looking to perhaps defend. Moonlight Shadow is available if they want to pop that bad boy. Arrow comes out, will not connect on anyone, and this tier 1 tower is going to take some damage as a result.
It's the Midnight Shadow.
Oh, there's the Moonlight Shadow. If they have any vision, it doesn't look like it, at least not yet.
They must have saw somebody top. Okay, somebody top was going. Arteezy was by the creep wave, so they saw it, they backed off.
FN's going to pop the Dragon Form. They're just going to pound away at this tier 1 tower. It's going to fall one way or another, but will it be denied is the question. And will a fight occur? Fortifications pop, that's a freebie. Arrow again. Will connect on Khavost. Is this enough for EG to want to initiate into this? Tower will fall in favor of Empire. Will Khavost be the sacrificial lamb of sorts? Foil placed on FN. And Khavost is just dead right off the bat. FN in the meantime at half HP already. Omni Slash on top of it. He's going to live at least for now. Funnick. Wow, Universe with a nice Ravage. Barely clips the Dragon. That's 3 deaths for Empire. As Goretz looks to be the fourth in EG, they lose the tier 1, but almost get a complete team wipe.
I just can't believe they got so many kills. I think the great thing there was Sumail did a Dream Coil on the back line. He didn't use it on Enchantress. He wanted to catch more people and force them into a fight. Because they knew that if a fight started, Tide was also going to have Ravage, they were going to have their other abilities, and they could start the fight in the right way. But if they just would have gotten the single Enchantress kill, one kill is not very good there. But losing their tower and getting that many kills in a teamfight win, so big for them.
And they're going to get a tier 1 on top of this. This is something that will not show up on the last fight network, but of course, 4 kills, they trade towers. EG looking pretty damn good right now, as their net worth is going to be approaching around the 3.5k.
It's very good for them. Now, they can't be super aggressive until they get their next ultimates up, but yeah, sure, maybe Ravage is one of those, but Universe can just kind of farm the lanes that are pushed and spend a lot of time jungling to start catching up now. It's not like he's even doing bad. He's 1-1-4. He only died one time there in the off lane, so he's got plenty of levels. This will transition very nicely in the mid game. Boots of Travel was finished by Aloha Dance, and he's got an extra 900 gold. He's actually farming very rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty big that he didn't die in that last fight, and he has a regenerance. He doesn't really need to go back to base anytime soon. And, I mean, I'm guessing the Battle Fury into crit is, I mean, it's completely standard, so I'd be shocked if he goes anything else. Meanwhile, Sumail bottom lane with Arteezy. We're pushing this tier 2, and Pale will connect. Actually, it's called Earth Spike now. I refuse to call it that. His arrow will not hit, but Sumail gets a little bit of burst damage on front. It's not going to be enough to get a kill. Aloha Dance in the meantime. He's here. Doesn't have his ensnare up for a little bit. Sumail taking some damage from the flames up, but that healing ward level 4, by the way. Good lord. Wow. That thing is ridiculous.
He just dodged Searing Chains. And he also broke the Fire Shield on Ember Spirit. Oh, line is he? Oh, he gets hit!
Oh, fine. Easy kill for Sumail. My goodness. He has the Blink Dagger in tow as well.
Yeah, and that's so big because that's a dead hero. That means they can continue pushing this wave. And they know that line can't be there for 20 seconds unless he buys back.
Play probably here for Empire is to push this top lane and try to get a trade of sort. I mean, Dragon Form is up, level 1 still. But they don't have complete vision in their jungle, so they can't tell if the supports are standing behind Sumail here. FN can apply that dot damage to the tier 2 top.
I think they're going to trade here. They know Fear's down here. He's attacking Sumail, Arteezy all attacking. They don't have Ravage. They have Ravage now, but there's no mana on Tidehunter. There's no way they trade here. And I think they're okay with that, considering Empire's a great 5-man lineup with Dragonite and Enchant. They've got a pretty good teamfight lineup, but they're just happy for the trade here. And this is pretty common to see. Both teams will move in the enemy jungle. They'll push the tower so that they can own that later.
I believe Fear is going for a Midas, by the way. It has the Gloves of Haste and saving for that recipe in all likelihood. And that's going to accelerate not only his farm, but his levels as well. Goretz, just look at this comparison. Goretz, in the meantime, level 4, really struggling on Ogre as far as levels.
You don't want to be behind on Ogre. Like, he's a hero that has a lot of early game advantage, and his mid game teamfight's okay, but it's not the same as a typical other support like Bane, so he's easily behind. It's going to hurt a lot.
And Arteezy, on the other hand, is only about 600 to 800 away from finishing the Battle Fury of his own. And bless you, Purge. I'm so sorry that you're allergic to cats. You really should have told me. I wouldn't have done anything about it. I don't know if I can actually
gotten rid of your cats or something?
No, there's no way. No way.
Exactly. What's more important?
Arteezy's going to find FN bot lane. Has a level 2 Omni Slash to work with, but there's an entire wave here. And Arteezy will just take the Dragon Tail and walk away.
He'd have to get a full Omni into a spin. That's the only way he kills him. It's just, he's got too much armor.
Yeah.
He's got 20 armor right now. It's actually ridiculous. He's going Armlet. Helm of Iron well picked up.
Huh. Interesting. This is kind of an older school build for Dragonite. I mean, I really like it when it's coupled with some sort of lifesteal. We'll see if he ends up doing that or not.
They're gonna
on mid lane, Funnick, you're dead. Silenced, Brain Sap, bye-bye.
That was pretty straightforward.
Sumail getting a little bit more aggressive. Goretz with a level 3 Fire Blast applied to Sumail. It's not going to do too much, and they'll walk away from each other.
A little interesting to see the Fire Blast max. The skill does far less damage than Ignite does per level, but if you throw an Ignite on a Jug, he's just going to spin, and then you take no damage because it removes the Ignite.
It's all about that multicast. He's feeling the RNG today.
If he gets lucky in 2 times, then it does more than a Fire Blast, but if he doesn't, then it does half as much. So.
Oh, Goretz taking the arrow for his team. And that's probably better than the alternative.
I think they're okay with that. I mean, it's only one team fight ultimate.
Oh, PPD is going to get initiated, by the way. FN with a nice Dragon Tail, and that's an easy kill for Empire, so 1 for 1. Tier 1 tower will fall as well, so that's the trade. 1 for 1 with the Tier 1 going the way of EG.
I think that's pretty worth it. I'm guessing PPD was trying to ward or something. I'm not sure why he got caught over there.
Let's go back to the Armlet. So FN has the Blink Dagger, so their initiation possibilities are there. Armlet, I like it. I like Armlet on this hero.
Why?
It's just okay. So a lot of the reasons that people don't get Armlet is the obvious disadvantage of you losing HP, where you're gonna have a ton of HP regen. Because remember, Dragon Blood was buffed. The HP regen specifically. That's 12 regen a second.
Point. Yeah.
So what is Armlet? It's like 30?
About 40.
Okay, 40. So
and Armlet also gives you about 6 regen.
That's
7
passive regen from that.
So he's got a total of 19 passive health regen, which means Armlet's only draining 21 per second.
Yeah, that's not bad at all for a Dragon
That's not bad at all, actually. That's a really good point. That regen definitely makes up for the Armlet in a lot of ways.
Aloha Dance going to take some right clicks from Arteezy. He's going to Blade Fury out of that Searing Chains. He's not really fearing too much as he now has his Battle Fury ready to go.
I mean, Armlet is extremely efficient. It's like a 2,320 gold item, and it gives you 65 damage on a strength tier.
I wish we saw it more often.
That's so amazing.
Ever since that nerf from, God, what was it, like 2 years ago at this point?
The toggling, just because a bunch of people had to like use scripts to use Armlet. Yeah,
I mean, you can technically still do that, right? But
yeah,
it's obviously more difficult to survive. But and with that regen being buffed for Dragon, I wonder if he's even going to go lifesteal to counteract the. I mean, lifesteal in general with Armlet is really good. That's why you see it on heroes like Nakes, or lifesteal, I should say.
I don't agree. I don't like lifesteal with Armlet in most cases, other than like
I mean, the issue with Dragon is he just lacks damage, right? So you kind of have to go some sort of damage build, or at least minus Armlet than AC. Or top lane, I should say. Aloha Dance. Oh boy, Nightmared up. Fiend's Grip is available. Arteezy's just gonna right click. In all likelihood, will be a kill. Indeed, it is. EG, another one on the board for them.
I think the Armlet will work on ice. Yeah, Dragon Knight is definitely not a very good carry. You usually buy like teamfight items, and you win teamfights with his skills, and then you transition into damage items by like third item. But this way, you can grab Armlet, you can get like maybe S and Y afterwards or something like that, and just fight early and be fairly close, maybe not close to what Jug's damage is, but it'll be a lot different. Kind of cool. And it's a lot cheaper than BKB, and it does so much more for damage.
Do you think he's going to get that instead of BKB?
No, I'm not saying he will, but you know, it's cheaper, and he's ready to fight now. Can they get Jug?
Well, Omni-Slash is still available as here comes FN jumping into Universe. Is that the right target? He's going to get a Ravage on 3. Meanwhile, Gorath is stuck on the high ground. Omni-Slash goes out. That's going to rip apart 2. And my goodness, EG just cleaning up this fight. Absolutely no issue. Nobody's even low for them. Are they going to find FN? Pops the Invis rune. He might get away. He's going to blink TP. But that was a disastrous fight for Empire.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing for them is that the smoke broke, and the only hero they could see was Tide. So then they go on Tide, and then he Ravages, and you're like, well, we basically wasted our initiation.
I mean, that's the beauty of Tide Hunter in general, right? You're almost always going to get that Ravage off thanks to Kraken Shell.
Yep. And any damage you do to him, it's just not worth it in a lot of cases. He just resists so much. If he would have started the fight on Arteezy before he spins and stunned him and used all the burst damage on him and killed him, like, they could have won the fight, but if they go on the Tide instead, it's just completely different. And the rest of EG got to sit on the back. They threw their spells out. They pick off Enchantress. First hero to die was Enchantress. That's a major damage component of what Empire has. So just not a good fight for Empire there. Despite it being a decent timing for their fight, EG was just prepared.
Did he have Armlet for that fight?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I mean, obviously
I didn't really see what... He blinked aggressively. He got ravaged.
I mean, when you have to initiate on Tide Hunter, it's never... Unless you have enough burst damage to actually kill him, it's a tough one.
Or super late game, Tide kind of feels like empty health in a lot of cases, but it's going to be a long time till it happens, at least 20 minutes of this game.
Well, Aloha Dance almost done with his Battle Fury, but speaking of the Universe on the Tide, has 1,700 gold, and all likelihood will go for that Blink Dagger. Is there any benefit, other than obviously the cooldown reduction of Greaves? Does it take off anything? Does it take off Searing Chains?
Yes. Ignite. Enchant. A couple things.
Enchant's not super helpful for...
I think the Blink Dagger first is definitely more important. EG does have good initiation options with Puck already, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you can Dream Coil into a Ravage or something like that, that just sounds really scary. Not to mention just the fact that you can blink in a good spot and Anchor Smash. It's going to make a big difference against like Earth or Ember Spirit, against Dragon Knight, against Enchantress even. Reducing that damage is not going to be inconsequential.
I didn't even realize the score's 3-17. It didn't actually feel that lopsided in EG's favor, but...
Yeah, the gold graph's pretty good for them. It's like 2% gold advantage or something like that, at least.
Right now it's 10k.
10k.
Favor of EG.
So it's about 30%. That's not terrible. Empire's actually keeping in this.
They're going to be relying heavily on this Ember Spirit to get some nice initiations, nice damage. The Battle Fury is definitely going to help accelerate his farm. But EG right now, grouping up in mid. Arteezy is by far, I shouldn't say by far, by 2k or so, the top network leader at the moment. Has finished the Manta style, by the way. That'll get out of the Searing Chains. Of course, he has Blade Fury on top of that.
Yeah.
And it's a nice luxury to have when you're already doing well. Meanwhile, Universe does have the Blink Dagger, by the way, so they're going to have that big, fat watermelon able to initiate for them. Of course, last time he kind of initiated for them. He took the initiation and ended up ravaging. As Lohadance is going right into him. Pops the Flame Guard. And unless they have a silence, which Sumail is close, Lohadance wants to... I don't think he wants to show off his buddy in Funnick. I don't think Funnick has a Blink Dagger.
Well, they're going to see him.
He does.
Here he
has a
is.
Blink Dagger.
Oh, there's a silence?
Silence on Lohadance. Oh my god, the Omni Slash rips right through him. Little too cocky, but I feel like you kind of have to play that way when you're this far behind.
They're not that far behind. They're, like the kills compared to the gold graph is a very different story. Being 30%
10K
net
at
worth,
22 minutes, that's
like
pretty...
it's a lot, but they're also farming quite fast. Like they've got 31k and their opponents have 41k. Like that's the difference of like 2.5 items. Yeah, it's a big deal. 2.5 big items. But it could be far worse. Like
FN gripped up, pops the armlet. Probably to Nova. He's doing a nice job of toggling it, but there's the Ravage to finish him off. Sonic is there as well, takes the arrow to the face, and a couple more deaths go the way of Empire.
The problem is that EG's just standing together basically, and they're moving as groups, so Empire can't do the standard thing, which is get ganks off to get advantage.
He has the haste rune, the S4 rune, if you will. Gorat's pretty damn low. Kavos is here for moral support, if nothing else. Sumail just looking for more burst damage. We'll have it in 3 seconds, and Kavos can't really do too much damage thanks to that phase shift. Gorat's in a lot of trouble. Phase shift off again.
Oh my god, is he gonna do this?
Sumail, Yule's up. Look at that effect. How pretty is that?
I think he's dead this time though.
Well, arrow's gonna connect on Lohadance. The support is here in the form of fear. He's gonna...
There we go. Okay, he had low storm.
No way. He's actually going to get away. Lohadance doesn't have really much mana to work with. Bottling up to his heart's content. Fear gets Searing Chain. Finally going to TP out in the heart. No! Barely dies. That is a huge kill for Emperor. They really need that. But Kavos is going to trade.
Maybe.
Or is he? He's going to do the exact same thing that Fear did, but there's the Nightmare. He's going to heal up thanks to the Nature's Attendance, but it runs out. Negative burn charge applied. Illusory Orb. PPD doing a nice job of blocking. He has absolutely no mana, though. Neither does Sumail. But just enough to finish him off. That was clowning.
It's dangerous, man. That attack speed reduction is so much. Man, they're doing pretty well. I love how farm Fear is. I think his item choice.
Oh, Artesia a little bit late on the Manta style. Has Omni Slash available, but we'll just use the Aegis in the end.
Universe has no mana.
There's the Omni Slash. Oh my god! He gets one kill, make it two thanks to Blade Fury. Artesia trying to get closer to his team. Universe doesn't have Ravage to work with.
Coming back now, he's like, oh my god, you killed 2 people? Like that's... I should have fought, man. That could have helped you.
They actually grouped up, which was not good against the Blade or the Battle Fury Omni Slash.
The Battle Fury only does work for those slashes in between though, so in a lot of cases it's not going to hit. Plus his attack speed. Oh, I guess he did go Treads. Treads Manta's pretty good attack speed, so yeah, I guess. They definitely grouped up for that one, and they paid for it big time. But I love the Lotus Orb on Marana. I started buying it a couple times recently, and I'm really starting to like the item. I still think it's mostly bad item, in a lot of cases a bad purchase, but for a lot of supports, it's so valuable in the mid to late game. He can remove Hex, he can remove Searing Chains, he can remove a lot of basic abilities, or even reflecting like a Dragon Tail stun is game winning. Like for an item, you basically can translate it immediately into hero spells, which is by far the most valuable part of a hero being in a fight. So Lotus Orb gives you some really good value.
Perfect.
Arrow hits Kavost, but no follow-up to be seen. FN does have the BKB, by the way. 10-second BKB to go along with the Armlet and Blink Dagger. And if he can somehow get enough farm for one more item that would be damage-related, top lane, Lohadance getting silenced up into a Yule's, and I assume a grip, but it's not going to be in time.
Yeah, that's hard to do. I think he wasn't within range to get the grip off in time, so he had to Yule's him, and you can't cast the Fiend's Grip animation before he presses Remnant button, so no way to get that kill there. Empire's pretty grouped though. They're going to do a smoke, possibly looking for a kill. Keep in mind that they can TP to this if they have a neutral.
And of course they know the Aegis is down, so if they can find a good fight, anything's possible with this lineup. I mean, they have quite a bit of initiation. Their damage is a little bit lacking, but Kavost, with that Dragon Lance, is something to be feared if you leave him alone. But Artesia, in the meantime, Dragon Tail that. FN pops the BKB. They're going to use Finger of Death as well. Kind of a wasted BKB. Perhaps was thinking that somebody was behind.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're expecting EG to be 5-man like they kind of were a lot of the other games. If he doesn't BKB there and Tide is there and he ravages everybody, Dragon Knight kind of just dies for nothing, and that would be a huge mess up. Because all it takes is a ravage into an arrow, and they lose the fight. Or just an arrow into ravage.
Well, that's possible right now. He gets earned up in between. His Universe comes in with a triple ravage, make it a quadruple ravage. FN attempting to toggle his armlet. There's the Dream Coil. Of course, Arteezy buys back. He's going to TP in. First death is Dragon Knight. There's the Omni Slash. Aloha Dance in a lot of trouble. The last proc will take him out. Both healing up, but how much will it matter? Yules is going to cancel the TP of poor Funnick, and that's going to be the 4th kill going the way of EG in this engagement.
Are they going to get Enchant too? They're going to chase them. They don't have Yules yet. 13 seconds on that.
They have Blink, Gush in 3 seconds. Is it in range? Not quite. And there's the Illusory Orb.
Maybe.
Sumail has another Yules in 3 seconds. I have a hard time believing that Khavos will get out of this, especially with Arteezy on his way. In all likelihood, we'll Blade Fury this, just to avoid that minus attack speed. And down goes Khavos. That is a complete team wipe for EG.
Dude, and they drag the creeps all the way here, which means that they only have to wait like 10 seconds for the creep waves to be here. But it's so early on that they're going to respond fast. I don't think they can take that Raxus yet, but mid tier 2, definitely.
Tier 2 will go their way. Juggernaut for Arteezy. Here doing a nice job of leaping to get a little bit of extra attack speed. Take this tier 2 out really quick. Arteezy going for Scotty, I believe, with that ultimate orb. As Impale's going to connect on one. Arteezy's Lotus Orb. Is that the right terminology? Lotus Orbed?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Do you want to call it Orbed?
Orbed?
No, that's too. It could be anything.
Yeah. Fortification was popped, right? Yeah, Fortification was just popped. That's pretty big for EG.
Puck has the Lincoln Sphere ready as well, so that's going to stop Dragon Tail, basically. That's the big one. Hex, 2 spells that are almost impossible to stop if you blink aggressively, so that'll keep Sumail very alive here.
And on top of the Lotus Orb, I mean, that's just adding insult to injury as far as defensive spells for EG.
And they've got Nightmare, and they've got a Glimmer Cape. They know that if they get initiated on first and they're in the same area, that they can cover each other.
And Universe now, I think, going for a 4-staff. PPD in the meantime, like you said, the Glimmer Cape still has 2 smokes. How many on top of that do they have, actually?
They're going to fight, though. Do they see Universe? They don't, actually.
Oh, this feels like I've seen
the arrow hits and Invis. They're going to go for this for sure, right? No, they don't have Ravage yet.
They don't have great vision either. FN pops in with the BKB. Lotus Orb applied to Universe. He doesn't have Ravage for 12 seconds as the Fiend Skip's going to get canceled onto FN. There's a Coil on 3 on top of the Omni Slash, going on top of the Ancient Creeps. They're going to find the line. Yes, farming on top of that. You know, Arteezy, no problem there. FN in the meantime, toggling again, attempting to run away, but there's the Ravage catching him on top of the Gush with Anchor Smash. Morana not doing that much damage right now, but FN's going to be the target of choice for EG as 2 are dead for Empire.
Oh, he accidentally double tapped his blink and Universe blinks backwards. That's a huge issue.
A big mistake.
They actually just lost the kill because of that. And he's going to TP?
But then again, that's Dragon Form down. God. I don't know if they really care about a Dragon Knight that doesn't have Dragon Form.
It's a rare mistake from Universe. But yeah, you're right. Like, if they don't have Dragon Form, they're not going to be able to take the Roche. They don't also have Ravage, though.
Yeah, that's true.
But killing the core there, especially at the end of the fight, would have been perfect. Because he would have been dead longer than his supports. And now everybody on Empire is alive. EG has used all their teamfight ultimates. They could potentially take this fight. Oh, Fear's gonna steal Courier. Nice.
Courier's dead. Where the hell was it going? There's like nobody in that vicinity.
Maybe exploring.
That's a diffusal blade being built.
It was the DC Courier. Did you see that?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
It's okay. I mean, couriers die all the time. I don't take it personally. Purge. Fear in the meantime. Taking a tail into a multicast, and on top of that, the Finger of Death expelled, and that's a dead Fear.
Man, Fear is going to be like, man, I really wish I pressed Lotus Orb in time because it countered all of those spells. That would have been really
That would have been pretty sick.
He doesn't have the Diffusal yet. He's still waiting on a recipe, but he's really farmed for a support Mirana. Doing great. Sumail's got Dagon flying out, so a little bit more single kill potential.
Man, it's top lane, Aloha Dance silenced up, and he's already very low, and that Dagon just picked up by Sumail drops him to the deck, pretty much no issue. Goretz in the meantime is going to run the PPD, but he is very ballsy being here. Can they cancel the TP? Yes.
And he got Enchantress.
Oh, are you serious? Oh god, Goretz, not surprised that he's going to die, but yeah, Khavos caught out by the Nightmare. And is there any way? I mean, he's going to heal up a bit. The right click doesn't feel like it's slowing Arteez's attack speed.
He's got so many agility items, man. He's got 25 attack speed from Scotty, like 41.
The male catches Funnick, by the way, and yeah.
My God.
That's got to be it, right? It's getting completely out of hand.
He finds all, and that's it. Good game is called, man. He just finds every single hero. He doesn't even give him a chance to take a team fight. They just keep engaging. And Empire was trying to get little sneaky ganks off and stuff, but it just didn't happen. They got Fear, and that was the best gank they got like in a long time. Just no way for them to win that. EG just fundamentally outplayed Empire there.
Yeah, Empire will Game 2 be on an EU server, so we'll see how much a difference it makes. Of course, if there was a server in the Atlantic Ocean, it might be the best place to do it, but unfortunately, that's just not reality in this. It's only 2016. Maybe in 2030, something like that will happen.